Hello everyone, I'm Alicia. Last class we have learned about the Chinese geography. Today we will learn about the Chinese lifestyle. Today Chinese lifestyle is not different at all from everywhere else in the world due to Western influence. However, the Chinese lifestyle still remains some of its own characteristics. For example, as for buildings, you can find everything from apartment complex to the towering high-rise building through to the modern style life, like apartment. However, in the rural areas, you can still find rural mess and straw house with a stronger influence of traditional cultures. Clothing is quite similar to the Western culture. However, it is also influenced by the local designs and create. Family life is still very traditional and family importance, as well as family reputation, is high rated in Chinese culture. As for gender equalities, women are working the same amount as men do. One side effect may be that the grandparents take care of the kids. Besides, domestic work like cleaning, shopping, or cooking is equally shared between boys and girls. As for marriage, young people today generally choose their own marriage partners on the basis of shared interests and mutual attraction. But blind dates are common among Chinese young people. A, a blind date is a date arranged for you by someone else, where you don't know the person you are going to meet. So there's no great differences between Chinese people and Western people. And today we will focus on Chinese education, holiday, and entertainment. Okay, the first part is about the education system in China. In this part, you will learn about the primary school, junior high school, senior high school, and higher education in China. Children aged from 3 to 6 will attend the kindergarten. Primary education is a 6-year course from 7 to 12. Junior high school is a 3 years course from the 13 to 15. Senior high school is a 3 years course from the 16 to 18. And the higher education, in most cases, indicates the university. It's about 19 years old to the 22 years old, almost. Kindergarten can last up to 3 years, with children entering as earlier as age 3 until age 6. Kids will play some games and have a lot of outdoor activities. At the same time, they will have some classes such as music class, drawing class, language class, and so on. Primary education is a 6-year course in which students are required to take a variety of subjects, such as Chinese language, fundamental mathematics, and moral education. They also take part in sports and extracurricular activities. Usually the class begin at 8 a.m. and end after 4:30 p.m. But for the primary school students, it's not easy. They have a lot of classes not only on weekdays, but also at weekends. During this time, parents send the children to learn something on weekends, such as dancing, instruments, and drawing, and so on. Junior high school is a continuation of primary system. Students begin to learn a variety of science subjects, such as chemistry, physicals, and biology, and other subjects such as history, geography. In China, 6 years in primary school and 3 years in junior high school belongs to the 9-year compulsory education. That means every child must attend the 9-year course in primary school and junior high school. At the end of the junior high school, all students take an examination, which for students leads to high school or vocational school. Vocational school is an alternative to high school. It aims to train people who have comprehensive vocational capabilities and will work at the front ranks of production service, technical service, and management. After 3 years of study, students can go directly into jobs within their related fields. Senior high school education is continuation of junior high school. Students take up specific subjects in either science or humanities subjects. The last year of senior high school, they have to go through national college entrance examination for admission to universities. The National College Entrance Examination, commonly known as Gaokao, is an academic examination held annually in China. It is held on June 6, which lasts 2 days, and there are separate exams for science and humanities subjects. In China, college entrance exam scores set the entrance qualification standards of candidates, and the scores can directly influence the university level at which admission is set. So, to a certain extent, the college entrance examination is the most important exam for students, especially for the poor. So all of the students will try their best to get good grades in that exam, including Alicia. Nowadays, senior high school students are under great pressure. Most high students always stay up late and sleep less than 10 hours. Maybe it's 7 hours. In China, most senior high students get up around 6 a.m. They're in their morning reading by 7 a.m. They have class from 8 a.m. until noon. Only about 2.5 hours for lunch and a middle day rest. They have class again from 2:30 p.m. until 6 p.m. After that long period of studying time, they can have 1 hour rest for dinner. They go back into the self-studying class from 7 o'clock p.m. until to 9:30 p.m. So they are in the class or doing the homework for 11 hours a day. Besides, many Chinese students are attending training class on the weekends, not only in the class in the school, but also including the course outside. Higher education in China is trained specialists for all the sectors of country's development. Universities, colleges, and institutes offer 4 or 5-year undergraduate programs, as well as special 2 or 3-year programs. China has established mechanism for helping needy students based on around government students loans. The mechanism also including scholarships, subsidies, and remission of tuition fees. In the first 3 years, the college students will learn major courses. The students often have class in a big classroom, and most classrooms are shared. In the last year, they will go to do internship. Students who have earned Bachelor of Arts or Science degrees may apply for Master of Arts or Science programs, and then 3 years Doctor of Philosophy programs. In generally, because there is a big differences between different countries in the world social, culture, and educational development. Each country forms their own educational system in a long-term development process. There are many differences to compare the Chinese educational system with foreign countries. Now let's see the differences between China and the Western country. The first one is in China, each class has more than 40 students. However, you will never find this phenomenon in Western countries. Sometimes, in order to make sure that each student can hear teacher's voice, teachers has to wear a microphone. In China, students sit in lines, listening to the teachers standing on the podium away from them, so the teachers cannot notice every student's performance. And there is often a sense of great distance between teachers and the students, which will make students feel not want to interact in the classroom. But in the Western countries, students sit in a circle and children and the teachers stand in the middle of the circles so that they can pay more attention to each individual's education. The second point is referring with the cultivation of students' interest and creativity. Chinese education pays more attention to accumulation of knowledge, cultivating of students' respect to the knowledge and authority. At the same time, Chinese examination mainly tests students' memory about the knowledge, which is taught in school. A Gaokao is also focused on the fact-based information. The third point is Chinese concept of education focused on the result, but not the producer of learning. We all study for scores from primary school to college, and the diploma is the main measurement of great abilities. They can't get a good job without the rich enough diploma. And so many companies has academic requirements when recruiting a new staff. Different educational backgrounds corresponds to the different salary levels. If you graduate from a good university, your salary will higher than the ordinary university graduates. So this is a very practical problem in China. It's no wonder why everyone studies so hard in senior high school to pursue a good university. The fourth point is, in modern China, parents give too much love to the children. Learning is the most important thing that children should care about. In children's growth process, parents are most concerned about children's learning. This leads to a situation that the children can't live without their parents. They seldom run into troubles because their parents had already solved the problem for them before they met the problem. Chinese family education only can produce a talent who is good at studying and obeying the rules. Is the result of examination-centered education, which can do harm to teenagers' body and mind. So Chinese family education has a great problem. And the second part, we will talk about holidays in China. It has the 4 parts. The first part is about statutory holidays. All employees are entitled to the following statutory holidays. New Year Days has 3 days of holidays. Lunar New Year's Day, Qingming Festival, Labor Day, Dragon Boat Festival, Mid-Autumn Festival, and National Day. It looks pretty good. Chinese people has 29 days of public holidays. But actually, it only have 11 days. We have to mention about the Chinese shifting weekends. A noble feature of mainland Chinese holidays is that weekends are usually swapped with the weekdays next to the actual holiday to create a longer holiday period. Business and schools would then treat the affected Saturdays and Sundays as the weekdays that the weekend has been swapped with. Here has a picture to explain how the weekend shifting. For example, in Chinese New Year holidays, it only has 3 days for Chinese New Year. It is on Saturday, Sunday, and Monday. But we have the holiday from Saturday to next Friday. But we need go to work at next Saturday and Sunday. So shift the Saturdays and the Sundays nearby to make a 7-day holidays. People may need to work for 6 or 7 continuous days before or after the holidays. Chinese New Year Day is one of the public holidays in China, and people usually have 3 days off. Although it's not a traditional festival in China, most malls are decorated during this holiday, and the shops launch sales promotions. The Spring Festival is Chinese most important festival and holiday. People enjoy a week's holidays for family reunions, and many traditional and activities are pursued during that time. So if you want to travel to China and experience Chinese culture, you can come at Chinese New Year holiday. In China, the Qingming festival is also called Tomb Sweeping Day. It's a time for worshipping ancestors and starting to enjoy the greenery of spring. Chinese people has a 5-day holiday this year. This is another peak time for traveling during this year. A Dragon Boat Festival, as long as the Duanwu Festival, is a traditional cultural festival in China. Chinese people enjoy 3 days off during the Dragon Festival. We will row dragon boat and eat the rice dumplings. The Mid-Autumn Festival is the second most important festival in China. It's also known as the Moon Festival or the Mooncake Festival. Generally, Chinese people has a 3-day holiday for Mid-Autumn Festival. Sometimes when the date is close to the weekend, people can have more days off. Chinese people have a week off in early October each year for the National Day. This is also a peak period of tourism, since many people use this holiday to travel with their families. Hence got the nickname Golden Week. And the second part is talk about the annual leave. According to Chinese employee vacation law, the statutory minimum annual leave is based on employees' years of work experience. So if you worked less than 1 year, you don't have the paid leave. And if you work more than 1 year and less to 10 years, you have 5 days. 5 days for paid leave every year. And if you worked more than 10 years and less than 20 years, you will got the 10 days. And more than 20 years, you only have the 15 days for paid leave. So in January item, when it comes to statutory annual leave, Chinese is relatively stringent. There are some holidays for certain people only. All adult females have half a day off on International Women's Day. Youths aged 14 years old to 28 years old have half a day off on use day. Children under 15 of age have 1 day off on Children's Day. Soldiers in service have half a day off on Army Day. When a holiday falls on a Saturday or Sunday, the following day is substituted as the rest day. The employer must pay the employee the full wage during a holiday. The wage can be calculated as the average daily wage based on the employee's history. An alternative holiday arrangement can be made, but must occur no more than 60 days before the statutory holidays. About the compensation for unused annual leave. Employers are required to compensate the employee for untaken paid leave. In addition to regular salary, the employer is required to pay the employee 200% of the employee's daily wage for each day of untaken paid leave. In the event that the employer is unable to give the employee their entitled leave, they must compensate the employee with 300% of the normal compensation. About the marriage leave. In China, newlywed employees are entitled to paid marriage leave. Every region in China offers staff different days. Some even provide additional holidays, with Gansu and Shanxi province, which both offer 1 month, being the most generous. But most regions offer 10 days for marriage leave. About the maternity leave. If you give a natural children birth, you will have 98 maternity leave, including 15 days leave that may be taken before delivery. If unfortunately you have a difficult delivery, you will get another leave for 50 days. About the miscarriage. For miscarriage within 4 months of pregnancy, maternity leave of 15 days should be provided. After 4 months, maternity leave of 42 days. If the employee gives the birth to more than one child at a time, she is entitled to an additional 15 days per each additional infant. The employee is compensated with an allowance rather than her normal salary during maternity leave. Terminating the contract of the pregnant employee at any point in time is illegal. It is also illegal to terminate an employee during her breastfeeding period. The breastfeeding period is defined as through the first year of the baby's life. Male employees requesting paternity leave are, in the plurality of regions, entitled to 15 days. However, this may vary by location. The following are the cities that do not follow the 15-day norm. In Tianjin and Shandong province, there are 7 days for paternity leave. And Yunnan and Gansu province is the most generous. The number of paid vacation days is much lower than that of European and American countries. Moreover, a survey shows that about 30% people said they don't have the paid leave. And besides, there is a 996 working hour system in China. The 996 working hour system is a work schedule commonly practiced by some companies in China. It derives its name from its requirement that employees work from 9 p.m. to 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. 6 days per week. A number of Chinese internet companies have adopted this system as their official work schedule. And the third part is about entertainment in China. Several years ago, television was the first leisure activities after work or in the weekend in China. With the rising disposable income and change idea on lifestyle, people have more choice nowadays. Among all the entertainments, traveling is the most popular method for Chinese to extricate themselves from the work and study. Traveling ranks number 1 on 10 Chinese most popular leisure activities, as 48% of people spend their leisure time on traveling. In last lesson, we have learned that Chinese is a country with vast land and all kinds of resources such as desert, mountains, lakes, and so on. So Chinese tourism resources are also extremely diverse. You can arrange a 2-day trip in the surrounding city on weekends, or you can arrange a long distance or overseas trip during the Golden Week. The development of China's tourism industry benefits from the convenient transportation. Nowadays, China has a comprehensive transportation network of airports, trains, highways, subways, ports, and waterways. Among these, high-speed rail lines, highways, and many new subways have perhaps improved the daily life of local people most dramatically. Airlines in China offer safe and comfortable service for travelers. Presently, there are about 1,279 routes. The train is one of the main means of transportation in China. and the national rail network is one of the biggest of the world. The total mileage of railways open to traffic in China amounts to 124,000 kilometers. The number of passengers transported by train has reached 2.5 billion. Chinese Railways serves both domestic and international operations. The domestic service is divided into 5 main categories: high-speed trains, fast trains, tourist trains, express, and normal passenger trains. A high-speed train is the premier choice among all types of trains, as it works at the speed of 115 to 315 kg per hour and has a high standard service. Some overnight day trains, often soft sleeper and luxury soft sleeper, facility on these trains are similar to those on airplane. The seats can always automatically adjust to morning direction. The seat back can be adjusted to the desired angle. A foldable small table is available for each seat, and electrical socks available in each row or compartment. Besides, the meals and the snacks are provided at a price. For example, there are 1,463 kilometers from Beijing to Shanghai. If you take the high-speed train, it just needs 4 hours and 20 minutes. China possesses the numerous and complex highway and at all levels, connecting almost cities, towns, and the countryside. Safety, quality, convenience, and capacity of Chinese expressways have been developed rapidly. Many convenient modes of transport are available in urban areas of China. Public bus, metro, taxi, bicycle are the most common options for people to choose. Nowadays, the government provides public bicycle service in many cities to encourage low carbon traveling. Public bikes can be found on specific places of streets, so that it's very convenient for people to get one. As long as your cell phone has the function of Alipay or WeChat payment, you can easily rent a public bicycle. The internet is the second common leisure activity for Chinese people. Every day, people spend more than 3 hours on their phones to contact friends with WeChat, to watch series with a radio app, or to buy goods with Taobao, and so on. There are 0.5 billion people using mobile phone to watch the news, and 0.3 billion people playing online games through the mobiles. It's not surprising that you can see many people staring at their mobile phones in the subway or other public transportation in China. Mobile phones are not only the communication tools, but also the entertainment tools for people nowadays. Almost 40% Chinese people like to go to the cinemas when they have the spare time. A lot of Chinese have the hobbies to watch movies, and the movie lovers spread out of whole China, who attributes the proper prosperity of the movie box office. In 2019, Chinese box office reached $9.5 billion. Movies can be talking materials for friends to communicate with each other, which gathers the people with same interests together. Thus, more and more cinemas are open throughout the cities so that people can watch movies easily after work in the weekend. Shopping is really popular in China. Women in particular take a pleasure in this pastime and consider a day of trying on multiple outfits. Besides offline shopping, online shopping is most popular in China. Taobao, Chinese the biggest online shopping destination. Aside from being a treasure trove of products, this one-stop super app allows users to do everything from ordering food and booking flights to watching live streams and even trying out new items virtually. Even if women don't buy anything, they can spend 3 hours a day on Taobao. For example, Alicia. As we know, Chinese has the 4 new great inventions. Nowadays, we have the 4 new great inventions: high-speed free mobile payment, bag sharing, and e-commerce. Here has a video to show that we can look it together. Okay, let's move on. KTV is also a common social activities in China. KTV is basically karaoke. The Chinese do not subscribe much to karaoke, though both are similar to a large extent. There are some fundamental differences. Karaoke is typically enjoyed in a large gathering where many people are watching the performer, but KTV is often a very private thing, conducted in a small room with close friends. It's really popular with younger sections of society. Rejecting an invitation to participate in a KTV event is considered rude. KTV is often combined with drinks. Alcohol is often involved. Of all sports in China, ping pong and badminton are the most popular among the public. People usually set up ping pong tables in the parks where anyone can come and play anytime they want. At the peak times, the ping pong tables were occupied by players of age. Since it's played in parks, the game attracts quite a lot of attention and spectators gathering around to cheer the players. This is one game where young and old alike participate. Badminton is often avoided by older players since it requires a lot of quick running. Anyone visiting China for the first time is almost guaranteed to see a few ping pong tables and badminton nets in parks. Strolling through the park is another favorite pastime of people. After all, it gives one body to necessary exercise without having to extra oneself. Public parks will usually be filled with people in the morning and the late evening. You will find many of Chinese young people walking in the famous Chinese parks and recreation facilities. Chinese young people walk around their beauty cities, chat with their friends, and enjoy the beauty sceneries. Many young Chinese people take part in the martial arts training, since many of them are very vibrant and active. Young people enjoy participating in martial arts such as Kung Fu and Tai Chi for self-defense, flexibility, and physical fitness. There are several martial arts schools in China for those wishing to participate, showcase, and up their ability. Tai Chi Chuan is also used as a form of body relaxation for elder people and a means of reducing body and mind stress. Dining out with friends is the best way to relieve a day of sadness. Usually eating, drinking, and chatting is together. Sometimes a dinner can last 2 or 3 hours in the evening. We have the hot pot, the barbecue, and a lot of delicious food. 麻将. This game is one of the most popular games with most Chinese people. For most of the elder Chinese, this is their favorite activity. Mahjong is basically a gambling game, tactical, played by 4 players. The game is played using 144 tails. With people with good memory at an advantage. It acts as a meeting center where local gospel is exchanged. Where most games are played at home, some take up the game out in the open space that usually attracts a crowd. Public dancing is actually a hip thing in China. One can find several middle-aged women just dancing together in the parks and open areas. Though it started as a fitness activity, public dancing has become more of a fun, social thing. People are usually not good dancers and are often beginners with little knowledge of how to move to music, but they do enjoy it a lot. And most people who watch public dancing eventually join the group for a few minutes or longer. Besides these activities, attending handful show, cosplaying show, and concert, and the photograph is very, very popular among young people. And here has a video to introduce about the Chinese entertainment. You can see it. So that's all. We finish the course. 谢谢。再见。Goodbye.